Oh god, like that Nars. Ooh, ooh. Oh, just. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're new here or if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel just down below. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. Today I'm going to be basically getting a little bit more personal. I have a lot of acne scars, so we're going to learn how to cover that up and have like a nice flawless application. So if you want to see how I get that and how we achieve it and all the steps to it, then just keep on watching. Okay, so my face is cleansed. She's moisturized, she's serumed. I have acne prone skin as well, so it's obviously nowhere as bad as it used to be when I was younger. Because right now, my skin acne wise isn't bad. You know, she's pretty smooth for the most part. It's just I got all of these scars and we're gonna learn how to cover them up. So first I'm gonna start off with a primer. I'm gonna be using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Honestly, truly, I love this stuff. Love the way it feels. I feel it does what it needs to do for your foundation. And I'm a person where before I never used to always wear primers, or I feel like primers, like a good one, is hard to come by. Or I was those people where I'm like, oh, primer's a myth. Primer's not real. You don't need it. I was one of those people. And like I still feel like I'm partially that person. But you know, I'm understanding it more, you know. I believe in it a bit more. And this primer is honestly really good. I'd say it's good for all skin types. My skin, I have oily skin all over. So this primer, I'm just putting it pretty much everywhere. You wanna rub it in with this primer. You wanna rub it in until it feels tacky, until you get that tacky touch. And then I believe you're supposed to wait for like 60 seconds and then apply your foundation. There's like a whole technical breakdown on how to use the Hydro Grip, just so you know. So she's feeling tacky. I'm gonna just give her a couple seconds to set. Before we put on our foundation, we're gonna actually color correct since we are learning how to, you know, get rid of these acne scars for the day, for a couple hours. Color correcting is something that I used to do quite often before. I honestly and truly don't do it often at all now, because I feel I get the coverage I need with a full coverage foundation, so there's no need to color correct. And even though I may see like some scars kind of peeking out from my foundation, I feel like it bothers me less. But it also just depends where I'm going. Like if it's like an actual night out, like this is an event, like yeah, like my face, like you can't see anything peeking through, period. But if I'm just going to work, to the mall, whatever, if you can just see a little bit of it peeking out, I don't care as much, but at the same time I do care. So yeah, I am going to take some orange color corrector because orange is going to help to cancel out whatever blues within the skin, hyperpigmentation, dark under eyes. It just kind of cancels out each other if you look on your local color wheel. For my color corrector, I'll be taking my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Orange Corrector. And I'm literally just going to plop her, polka dot her all over my scars, or the major scars, I should say. Okay, so I have a vast majority of my acne scars corrected. So once I have that polka dotted all over, I'm just gonna take my finger and kind of just buff it into my skin a little bit more. For that extra coverage, especially based on how severe your acne scar is. And this can also be the same method that you can use if you have like really bad dark under eyes, or even if you have hyperpigmentation. Usually deeper complexions, Black people usually have hyperpigmentation. around their mouth, sometimes around their nose, and a lot of times underneath their eyes. I'm gonna take a concealer that is about my skin tone, maybe even a shade darker, because that even helps to cancel out anything that you want to conceal better. Do not use a lighter concealer. Use something that's the same shade. And I'm literally just gonna put it on top of where I put the orange. Very slightly buff her out. And also, like, even the technique I'm using to buff out the spots, for most of them, I kind of go around the edges opposed to tapping on the middle of it, if that makes sense, because I don't want to take away all that product. I just want to more so blend out the edges, so I'm almost circling around it, if that makes any sense. See, and this is why I don't color correct all the time, because I have a lot of acne scars. This is time consuming. Who has time? Who has time? Like, I'm like, okay, I'm almost done. Then I see this side, I'm like, circle around it. Just, yeah, sometimes your girl just ain't got time for all this. Okay, so now that's all kind of blended in, kind of. Now we're gonna go in with our foundation. So I'll be taking The Ordinary colors. It's The Ordinary brand. Taking their foundation in the color 3.1Y, and this is the coverage foundation, the high coverage one, because I know they have two different formulas. One's more like water-based, I almost feel, more lightweight. This one's a little bit more heavier, more full coverage, I should say. And then for my second foundation, I'm taking my baby, my absolute love of my life, my ride or die, Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. Nars in general, period, the brand. In love. The foundation, in love. So we're mixing the two. The reason why I'm mixing it is because with the Ordinary foundation, it's a little bit darker than my skin tone. And with Nars, this color is pretty like on par with my skin tone, but it's like a smidge, just like a 0.5, like just a little bit too light, just a little on the lighter side. So to bring her a little bit down, we're gonna go in with the Ordinary. And with my like skin complexion, I'm not gonna lie, right now it looks pretty even, but typically my neck is a little bit lighter than my actual face. My face is a little bit darker than my neck, so I tend to go a bit lighter with my foundation on my face, so it can all seamlessly blend in. Okay, cool. And for the brush I'll be using to apply my foundation with is the Real Technique brush. I don't know, this is called the Instapop Cheek Brush. I don't think they make this model anymore, but they have something similar to it that's just a bit more fuller. But I adore this brush for like literally everything, like my foundation, my concealer, my liquid contour, sometimes even powder. Like I use this brush for everything, it's crazy. But because I love the taper end to it, because it just fits into like the crevices of your face nicely, gets in those corners the way it should. You want to use a brush that is more dense within their bristles, and that's just more bunched up together like so, because therefore when you're actually dipping it into your product, it's picking up more product and it's laying it down in a more full way, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my Real Techniques brush. I'm gonna go into my little mixture I have on the back of my hand. I also, when applying foundation, avoid right underneath my eyes, just because we're putting concealer there, we're probably gonna put powder there. Why do we need to put foundation there? Do you like creasing? Do you enjoy having crease under eyes? Because I don't, and it pisses me off. So the less product you put right underneath your eye, the better. Keep it that way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do stippling motions. Oh God, like that Nars. Ooh. Oh, it just blends out so beautifully. Like, it's just so creamy, it's so smooth. And look at that. Scars where? Huh? Acne prone where? No, I'm joking, but for real. And then make sure you get past that jawline onto your neck. You want to use stippling motions, guys. Do not streak it on, because when you stipple it, you get a fuller effect. And then also I take whatever residue left on my brush and just bring that onto my nose. Because when you purposely add more foundation onto your nose, it shows, like, you can tell, and that's when your nose tends to like crease or separate or gets like a little cracky. It's just not cute. Okay, so our foundation is blended on, looking pretty seamless scar wise. I know she's looking a little bit orange, she's looking a little bit crazy, but that's what we have concealer for. I'm using a lighter concealer to kind of brighten certain things up. So for concealer now, I'm gonna be using the Too Faced, oh wow, the name like completely. I'm gonna put her on right underneath. Don't need a lot. Underneath my eyes. Do a little triangle on the forehead area, my chin, upper lip. Honestly, we're gonna leave the nose alone today. Let's let her sprawl out today. Again, I use this brush for everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and now buff out my concealer with it. I'm gonna just start with my forehead. And I like keep that in place. Tap, 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 tap. Then I eventually move her out just above my brow. And even for the eye area, guys, I start blending, even if you're using a beauty blender, start blending from the very end of it, back and forth. And then I gradually work my way up, because again, not trying to push so much product right underneath my eye. And also when blending your concealer, stay in this area. Don't bring your concealer down here. That don't make no sense. So if you find that you're coming this way, bring her around down. Just bring her, do a little C, you know, little boop. Has anyone noticed the outside has been getting darker sooner now? So sad, so sad. This is what pisses me off about Canada. Like, we can't, like, it's like we skip fall. That's how I feel. I feel like we have summer and it just goes straight into winter. Or our fall is like a week long and then it's winter. It's like I get today's September 1st. It's like, can it be warm just like until mid-September? Like, it's starting to get cold. Other day I was outside, the wind was just whoosh, 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 throwing your glow around. Like, I don't know, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready. Okay, concealer is on. Sometimes I just love like just the complexion. Like, I just love how complexion looks. Like, if I add contour and highlight and like bare eyes, like no lashes, no mascara, no shadow, maybe some gloss, and just skin. Like, you know, it just looks so sometimes just We're gonna go ahead and set those areas with some powder. I'm gonna be using translucent loose setting powder by Hourglass. Some people love this, some people hate this. It's fine. So I'm gonna take the Hourglass powder. Sorry, and why I was saying that point is because I haven't found a powder as well that like I absolutely love. So like, based on this powder, like it does what it does. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, there's nothing more to it, nothing less to it. I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush, go in my powder. I am not taking a lot. You can barely see her on there. And I'm just tapping her underneath my eye area. We're pretty much just gonna put the powder wherever we put the concealer. powder is on. That's pretty much it for our complexion in terms of covering our acne scars. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this look. I'll be back in like 5 seconds, which is like 30 minutes to me. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay guys, so I threw on some extra accents, if you will. I did a little cute natural brow, natural to me. If I don't carve out my brow, I consider that a natural brow. Did a little contour, you know, a little highlight, a little lash, a little eyeshadow. You know, like a whole like no makeup look. I'm just gonna follow with some setting spray. I typically like to use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Again, setting spray is also one of those myths for me where I'm like, but does she work? Does she not? I haven't found like one where it's like, oh yeah, this is good. But All Nighter, I think honestly, she does her thing. But we're gonna start off with the Tarte Rainforest Sea collection. This is a 4-in-1 setting mist. So in my opinion, is she a setting spray or is she a finishing spray? I don't know. Bring her on because we want to lock in that complexion. Okay. That's pretty much how I do the rundown of just covering my scars using the color corrector. And even if I don't use the color corrector, just use a really good full coverage foundation. Or even if you don't have a color corrector, again, you can use a concealer that is your shade or close to your shade or even a shade darker. Spot that where you need to, or put it under those under eyes, and follow with a really good full coverage foundation and you're set. Do tapping motions when applying your foundation. Use that buff brush. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. And before you leave, just a reminder, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment on this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.